Usually when a new manager is hired, the jobs of the current staff are already in place. Nevertheless, it's the manager's responsibility to make sure that their staff members' jobs are structured to fit the abilities of each staff member, as well as fulfill the needs of the department. This may seem easy and straightforward, but it can be complicated. In this episode, we'll discuss some of the challenges that you may face. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you.
There's no question that you, as the manager, have the right and the authority to assign tasks or to make changes in a position's functions. It is also true that most people are motivated to perform successfully in their role. However, if a job or assignment is too easy, staff members may not feel a sense of success, and if the task is beyond their skill and ability level, they may not succeed at all.
Also, if someone is given a job that they can't do, they'll often transform it into something they can do, or they'll concentrate just on the portion of the job that they can do. The problem is that this may not be actually what was intended initially or what the department needs. So, in order to make an assignment challenging and doable, you'll need to get involved, because a staff member's success in a job depends on the relationship between designing the task correctly, the employee and their skills, and how you, the manager, monitors each situation.
I've got a coaching situation right now that I'm dealing with where the manager has an employee who does some parts of the job and not others. When people go by this person's desk and they smile and they say hello, because he's introverted and very focused on doing the job, he doesn't even look up. And the manager who I'm coaching realizes that in order for this person to be successful, they've got to have a balance between doing the work and building relationship with others in the organization. So he's working on that, and there is improvement starting to happen.
Well, that's good. Sometimes I think it's if you just point out to the person the impact some of the things they do are having on people, they may not just be aware of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
In this case, the person is aware of it and needs to change his behavior. This means that spending time analyzing each assignment in your department will give you a better understanding of your people and the roles they're filling, even though it can be time-consuming. Depending on the size of your department, you may have time to meet each person individually, or you may need to have your direct reports spend time with each of their people to determine whether they're comfortable with their assigned tasks, and also if they've got suggestions that can help them to be more productive. If you need to get involved in that, you're going to have to do some training of your direct reports as to what exactly you want them to do.
Oh, yeah. And also how often you'll need to do each review depends heavily on how often a staff member's job or their assignments may change. In some organizations, the nature of an employee's assignment may change frequently, where in others it may almost never change. An alert manager needs to be aware of anything that might impact the timing or the difficulty of their department's work.
Yes, and remember, this can include a range of things from changes in the company's products or services to changes in company ownership or its management team to changes in client makeup or needs. Any such changes may call for a new review of staff assignments and their ability to complete them.
Yeah, and it's also important to remember that this isn't a one and done task. What seems straightforward and completely manageable to an employee and the manager at the beginning may turn out to be far more demanding and complicated as the work progresses. So this means that even without the external changes we've just discussed, it's important that the manager regularly check in with each staff member to see how they're doing. Staff meetings can be a good time for this.
Remember, too, that in just about any department, there are going to be staff who are reluctant to say they're having a problem, even when they are. Here, there's a number of things the manager must pay attention to. First, if at all possible, you need to have specific progress measures that are reported on regularly. This can be anything from a number of units produced or sold to steps completed and so forth.
And there also needs to be concrete and agreed upon deadlines so you, the manager, can see if things are on track. But also, and we'll talk more about this in a future episode on staff well-being, you need to monitor the amount of time and effort it takes a staff member to meet their goals. Are they working excessive hours or failing to take vacation time and so on? These too can be red flags that a job or assignment may be misunderstood or not right for the staff person.
Rick, you had someone who worked for you who had an issue with excessive hours. Did you not?
Yes, I did, and I finally had. It wasn't that he was not producing or that his assignments were excessive as far as we could tell, but he was there early and late all the time. And I finally spoke to him and said, you don't have to be. I think what happened was he thought that he needed to show he was there all the time and, first one in, last one to leave. And I said, no, you don't have to do that. Your work is fine. You're getting it done, and he, just speaking to him, I think helped him a lot. And he started having more regular hours.
Regardless of the cause, if a staff member has a problem with their assignment or assignments, you'll want to learn about it and take immediate steps to deal with it. It may be that they need additional help, or deadlines need to be adjusted, or the staff person may need training in one or more areas.
Yeah, on the other hand, it may be that the assignment was not explained clearly or was misunderstood by the employee. I think that was part of the problem with the fellow we were just talking about. But in any case, it's up to you as the manager to address the problem and do so in a way that doesn't leave the staff person feeling that they've somehow failed, but rather that they're now on a path to succeeding.
There needs to be a situation where you as the manager tell your people, look, if I ask you to do something and you don't understand it, please come and talk to me about it so we can get off on the right foot.
Yes, that is so important that you make it clear, and you have to do this over and over. You can't just do it once and forget about it. That you are open to that kind of questioning or asking for advice or clarification, because a lot of times staff think if they come and ask you a question or say they're having a problem, that will be a bad mark against them. And you have to make it clear that no, you expect people to come and ask questions and question an assignment and get clarification and that sort of thing.
That's right.
Yeah. I had the experience of working with a guy who was exactly the opposite. And it really made everybody less efficient. That he thought if you were asking a question, you were questioning him, and he didn't like that, and that made things very, very awkward and inefficient.
There can also be situations where the nature of the job or assignment itself can increase the probability of poor performance. For example, if a task is highly repetitive, the possibility of making errors may increase later in the day. Here, an option could be to cross-train another member of your staff who has the same skill set so that each staff member can give the other a break from their regular duties.
Right, and also remember that cross-training is also is great for covering vacation time. So you've got somebody who can instantly fill in when a staff member's on vacation. And also when a complex problem is being set up or project is being set up, there may be a number of assignments that have to be made. And sometimes a department manager will name a project leader to assign the roles. However, this can occasionally lead to dissatisfaction with or a misalignment of roles, with one or more staff preferring a different role.
Yes, but often a better way to handle this is to speak with the members of the project team and get their input before making assignments. It may not be possible to handle all requests, but staff will appreciate that the effort was made to get their input.
Yeah, and finally, once in a while, you'll sense that an individual isn't happy overall in their role in your department. And no matter how clearly you spelled out the job duties and responsibilities, the person just either didn't understand what the job would entail, or they've been on the job for a period of time and are burned out, or their career interests have just changed. But whatever the cause, you need to take action and make a decision. If the staff member has been a valuable member of the organization, you may want to provide them with help in exploring another position in the company. And if that isn't the case, you may want to also provide assistance for them to leave the company, as well as assistance in finding another position. And I think it's important here to point out that how you as manager handle a situation like that will have an impact on the staff you want to keep, because they're going to be watching what do you do to their colleague who they probably already know is not really pulling their weight, but still they want to see fairness and, humane treatment of a coworker.
That's an excellent point. And if it's the latter where the person is going to leave the company, you as a manager have to be in touch with the human resource department and make sure that you're following the policy correctly.
Right.
In summary, there's no question it's the manager's responsibility to design each job in the department and to make assignments that will lead to achieving the goals. What must be kept in mind, however, is that a staff member's success in a job is a function of designing the job correctly, as well as matching the employee and their skills to the assignment. Addressing each of these factors well will go a long way toward ensuring your success.
We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more Management Mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.